It's your man Delvin. Welcome to Delvin's Room. And today I want to talk to y'all about a Saturday morning 90s cartoon that kind of has gotten forgotten, but it did something so different. The Men in Black animated series. Yes, this cartoon was kind of different because it was an action sci-fi cartoon for kids. Now, at that time, we hadn't really seen it. I mean, you seen something with the X-Men, but that was like superheroes, right? You know, Men in Black aren't necessarily superheroes. They're kind of like guys doing a job, you know what I'm saying? And this series lasted 4 seasons, 53 episodes. It was on Kids WB, and it never really crossed over. It had a mainstream appeal or audience, but it had a very niche audience that really loved the show. In my opinion, I believe that they should have grown from that. In my opinion, this show could have been like a kids version of X-Files, which it kind of already was. You know, it had the comedy relief, but I really feel like it was digging deeper. You know, because if you think about the Men in Black, the TV show, the movies, right? You know, you got Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones, who don't voice act on this, all right? But you had those big superstars, big personalities, and now you go to the cartoon where you had Agent J, who was voiced by Keith Diamond. He did an amazing job. He really was a standout. I also like Agent L on this one. And it really gave the cartoon something different that the movies didn't have. You know what I'm saying? It really leaned more towards the comic books. You know, if you, I personally, I didn't even know Men in Black was a comic book series. You know what I'm saying? And then you come to find out and you see how much the cartoon dives into it. So that's kind of like the difference between the cartoon and the movie. You know, the cartoon leaned more towards the comic book. Now, the thing that I loved about the show was it dove way deeper into the extraterrestrial. You know what I'm saying? It shows you, like you see in a movie, I guess there's only so much you can do in a 2-hour movie, like, you know what I'm saying, to really put things into perspective. But on this one, they dove deep enough. And I'm glad it lasted those 4 seasons because you got to see, like, okay, they always have this thing of aliens trying to invade, and you know what I'm saying? And these two have to be prepared for anything, and it really dived into the other Men in Black characters, something we hadn't seen. K, who in the movie played by Tommy Lee Jones, he was kind of extremely reserved, right? But on this one, he gets very vulnerable in the movie, in the cartoon. So it really was a good cartoon. Was it as popular as other cartoons? No, but it held its own. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I loved about it as well was the great animation. Now, of course, the movies are gonna outshine. You got Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones, big budget, big blockbuster budgets. I mean, the films have made over $1 billion, so you know the film series is just out of this world. But you have to give credit.
Zero. What big teeth you have.
In moments in the cartoon, it just showed you things that you couldn't see in those movies. You know what I'm saying? Even the little creepy bugs, it gave them more person. Well, you know what? In the movies, they had personality as well. I can't lie. It was a great cartoon. The movie is always gonna be the bigger. You know what I'm saying? Will Smith, Tommy Lee Jones, and you know, it was so much they can do. But I just felt like in a cartoon, they dived much more into the sci-fi of it all. I think the Men in Black, the original one, 97, did that. But the cartoon really dove into that, and it had some great episodes. I mean, some amazing episodes. I love the episode where Kay has like a girlfriend in another galaxy. They had the jack-o'-lantern where it was dealing with even paranormal stuff. It was just a different cartoon, and I think at that particular time nobody knew what that meant. You know what I'm saying? I think the cartoon should have been geared more towards preteens and teenagers. You know what I'm saying? I think the smooth spot would have been from 11 to like 16. But nonetheless, the cartoon was great. We got 4 seasons, man. Sometimes 4 seasons, over 50 episodes is great enough. Every cartoon is not going to be SpongeBob, Hey Arnold, or, any long-lasting cartoon, Bugs Bunny and stuff. We're not always going to get that. But for what it was great.